My name's Jeff Condy. Work for the Lafayette County Sheriff's Office. I'm a deputy sheriff. I'm a officer in charge over a patrol shift. Law enforcement officers are people just like everyone else. We go to work. We have a job. We don't pull people over because we don't like them or we're trying to be mean. It's part of our job. The main violations that officers pull people over for primarily going to be speeding and failure to maintain lane or swerving. That poses a risk to other drivers. Can indicate that the person is under the influence of something, and then equipment violations, headlights out, brake lights out, tail lights out. That's a safety concern for other drivers to see the vehicle. During a traffic stop, when we observe a vehicle committing a traffic violation, the first thing that we want to do is safely get up behind the vehicle. Once we get close enough to read the tag on the vehicle, the safest way to do it before we ever turn on any emergency lights or sirens is we call the Florida tag, or whatever the vehicle's tag is, into our dispatch. 62-3 to Mayo, Florida 28 would be 433 Yankee Alpha. Once we have that information back to us, dispatch has the information of the vehicle. That way if something goes wrong, they already know the vehicle that we were out with on the side of the road. On a traffic stop, they don't call us, so we're interfering with their normal life, and it's us that initiates that contact. And most of the time it goes peaceful. So we would wait and judge and activate our lights to initiate the traffic stop where the area would be safe for both of us to pull over. If you have a real steep ditch directly on the side of the road, guardrails, multiple driveways with curbs, you don't want to initiate a traffic stop in those areas because it's not safe for both vehicles to pull off the side of the road. Then we would activate our emergency lights. A motorist can do several things that will make the process easier during a traffic stop. One thing is to pull safely over in a timely manner. Don't slam on your brakes and snatch over to the side of the road. We know it takes time for vehicles to pull over safely. When drivers slam on their brakes, it causes us to slam on our brakes, and it starts off with a little bit of confusion, and it's a safety issue. While we're doing all this, we're observing the people in the vehicle to see what kind of movements are taking place in the vehicle. We're watching from the time we first get behind them, we're watching their movements inside the vehicle, see if they're reaching under seats, tucking anything. We're watching to see if anything gets thrown out the window. Sometimes people do go ahead and reach and retrieve their vehicle registrations and stuff, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Movement inside the vehicle doesn't necessarily mean something illegal is taking place. Once both vehicles are safely stopped, then you would exit your vehicle and approach the driver's side or the passenger side. If there's a lot of traffic, I will go to the passenger side as a safety issue for the traffic. What goes through an officer's mind during a traffic stop is a whole lot of stuff. The number one thing is to be able to return to your car at the end of the traffic stop. As we exit the vehicle, we want to observe traffic behind us that's coming up on us to make sure we don't get run over and we don't cause an accident when we open our door or exit out of the vehicle to approach the vehicle that we've stopped. While we're doing this, we still want to maintain awareness of the vehicle that we've stopped. Keep an eye on the occupants and what the vehicle is doing. There's been several instances once the officer exits his vehicle, the vehicle will speed off and leave. So we want to keep all that in account as we exit the vehicle to approach the vehicle that we have stopped. Another safety thing that a motorist can do is once they get stopped, go ahead and put their vehicle in park, turn on their interior light, and put their hands up on their steering wheel where they're visible. Don't have them over in the center console or under them. Just keep their hands out in the open. As we continue to approach, we stay very close to the vehicle without scratching it or anything of that nature. We observe into the windows as we come up. We come up slowly where we can gauge everything that's inside the vehicle. Roll your window down. Go ahead and have your window down. If you have tinted windows, roll both the windows down. If there's a back window, roll both of them down. Officers like to be able to see inside the vehicle for a safety issue. I keep this between me and him. That's another safety issue. First thing we want to do is put the driver, the motorist, at ease. We approach them, we talk to them in a normal tone of voice. At the same time, we're keeping our guard up to look for anything that may pose a risk to us and our safety. When I first approach the driver, I'll give a greeting, like, "Sir, I'm Jeff Condy with the Sheriff's Office here in Lafayette County." And then I will give the reason for the stop. The number one thing people that are pulled over want to know is, why did you stop me? go ahead and tell them. That gets all that out of the way. There is no confusion, no arguing on why the person was stopped. Sir, I'm Jeff Condy with Lafayette County Sheriff's Office. I stopped you because you were traveling 69 miles an hour in a 55 speed limit. Do you have your license, registration, and insurance for me?
Yes, sir.
Say, okay, Mr. Coleman, is there any justifiable or any good reason why you were traveling that fast today? That gives them a reason to explain why they were speeding. Sometimes there is justifiable reasons. People going to the emergency room, going to a hospital, a sick family member, a death, or any type of emergency. We are people as well. We know things happen and there's different situations to everything. Be honest, be polite, and just talk to them as a person. Every officer is a person. That's your best chance of getting out of a traffic citation. All right, sir, I decided to give you a verbal warning today. I understand your situation, but you need to slow down a little bit. Okay, it's not safe to travel that speed in this speed limit, okay?
Yes, sir.
There's no way to put a quota and it be in good faith as far as a law enforcement job. So quotas are not good and they're not allowed. So I would pull my vehicle over like this back to a straight position where they have a better view of the oncoming traffic, and I would turn off my front flashing lights, and I would sit here with my rear lights on until they pull out and safely merge and leave in the lane of traffic. Because ultimately, I have put them on the side of the road. They are my responsibility until they are safely back flowing with traffic. Be polite to the officers. They should be polite to you. Be polite to them. Cooperate with them. If they ask you to do something, comply with it. If you have a problem with the way the officer's treating you, there's a process to take that up with their supervisors, their department, or in the court system. On the side of the road during a traffic stop is not the place to confront an officer if you disagree with them. Just be polite. We're people just like everyone else.